Hello, fellow writers. Today I'm going to be sharing about one terrible mistake that I made writing the first chapter in my book. This was after I signed my book deal, and let's just say that the publisher was not thrilled about what I sent them. What I learned from this blunder, it forever changed the way that I write. So stay tuned, learn what I did so that you don't make that same mistake. I'm Demeter, and I teach people how to write better and publish their books. Please like and subscribe if you find this content helpful. Let me back up. Before I had sent them this terrible chapter, I had earned a book deal. I earned a nonfiction book contract, signed it, and of course, I was ecstatic. And the publisher immediately put me on an unofficial timeline so that I would complete my book by their deadline. So to keep me on track, they wanted me to deliver to them the first chapter of my book a month after I did the deal. I was stoked about giving this chapter to the editor. It was my first one, and I had written it and rewritten it and revised it several times. I thought I nailed it. And a day or two later, the editor emailed me back, and she was not impressed at all. My heart sank when I read her criticism. Were there spelling errors? No. Were there grammar issues? Nada. Was it nonsensical? No, it was well written, and it was free from errors. But the problem was not what I wrote, but how I wrote it. She said, "Eric, the trouble with your chapter is that the reader needs to be the hero of the story, not you." What she meant was the book is not about me. Like, it wasn't about me. Like, I'm the author, but it's not really about me. It's about the reader. And my book, in this chapter, what I had turned in so far was too focused on myself. I didn't know it at the time. I wasn't trying to do it, but my chapter was filled with a lot of navel gazing. I put myself at the center of the book, and again, not the reader. I gave too many examples of my own life, and the text became tacitly based on me, and the lessons and what I learned instead of what I can teach the reader. It wasn't my intention to be the hero of my own book, but that was the effect, and that was why the editor at the publishing house called me out on it. So my advice to you as the author of your book is to keep the reader as the hero of your story. But how can you do that? First, professional writing is about the reader, not about the author. You're not journaling anymore when you're writing a book. You're not blogging anymore. You're writing for the masses, trying to help the person who bought your book in some way. Imagine how warm and fuzzy you're going to feel when you know someone gives you feedback because your words penetrated their heart and you changed them for the better. To do this, every sentence must be about what the reader is experiencing and how you want them to feel. Even if you're writing about you and it's your story, you're always keeping the reader's journey in the forefront of your mind. Practically, make sure that when you're writing about yourself, you relate it quickly to the reader. Connect what you went through to what the reader must do as a result of what you've learned. Now, what can they learn? And do this as soon as possible in every section of your book. They want to be inspired. They want to know what you know about God, about relationships, about overcoming a struggle, whatever your topic is. Write directly to the reader. And this is what I did in the end when I finished my book, and readers told me that it felt very personal. It was relatable, and they felt like it was directed at them and what they were going through. Put more yous in the book. Write more in second person and use less I's. You share about yourself, and I share a lot about my journey in my book, but in the end, again, the reader is the hero of the story, not you. You might say, "Eric, wait, I have an amazing story. I came out of this addiction. I overcame this struggle. This is what I learned. I have to share it." That's awesome. I want you to get your message out ASAP, and that's what this channel is about. But this is also where you want to consider, are you writing an autobiography or are you writing a book explicitly to help others? If it's an autobiography, great. Then learn the ins and outs of how to write one because it's a specific genre. I love the unique and inspiring stories from autobiographies I've read about actors who made it in Hollywood or people who have started multi-billion-dollar businesses. I read one book about a man's life in the Middle East and loved all of his God stories. Many nonfiction books, though, maybe like yours and like mine, fall into the self-help category, which is different than an autobiography. It'll be a mix of your stories. It'll have other stories, and you'll also be weaving in research and data and maybe Bible verses. If this is the kind of book that you're writing, keep the reader at the center of your story. You're writing for them. And a good way to do this is to think of your ideal reader. Think of the exact person who needs your book and what problem you're trying to help them with. Picture that person, describe them, their age, their gender, like what they're going through in life, and keep that person in mind as you write your book. This idea of the reader being the hero is a subtle but profound change. And again, the most satisfying thing that I've received from my book is that when I hear from unmarried men and women that it helped them. Of course, I smile when they say that it was entertaining and I made them laugh. And laughter is cathartic in and of itself. But when I know and when they tell me that they've been seen and heard and known by reading my book, I feel like I achieved something far beyond my own ability. I hope that was helpful for you in your own book writing process. My professional editor gave me other feedback about that first chapter, and I'm going to share more of what I learned in future videos. If you want to be sure to see all the videos that I make, please like and subscribe. Check out the links below in the description for my free publishing guide and a link to my book and a link to my blog if you want to see those things. Take care. God bless you.